All right, welcome to another episode of At the Closing Table. I have Pete here, who's purchasing your first house.
I am.
Congratulations. I want to start this off by hearing from your point of view this whole transaction.
I might be in the minority, but I actually had a pretty wonderful experience. You know, being well prepared. I did a ton of research before even reaching out to you, just to get a gauge of, you know, what the whole process is like. And I think there's so much information on the internet. It could be a negative because there's just so much. But once I talked with you, you kind of helped me sift through all the things that were going to be important to me. And therefore, I'm glad I reached out to you, and you definitely helped me throughout the process pretty well.
Do you remember the two deals?
Yeah. So the first one that we did that didn't work out.
Yeah.
We put in an offer that was well above listing. We thought we got it.
Yeah.
But then they said that there was another loan that wasn't disclosed that they wanted me to assume. No, right? It was a flat no. I think you even told me, you were like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Deal.
That was a nice learning experience. You know, I wasn't too down on it. Looked at the new listings that were coming out every week to just see what was out there. And then we eventually found the one that we eventually landed on, we closed on. We looked outside of the areas that we originally looked at. I think we looked at like 8 or 9 towns. The one that we eventually closed on was just outside of that circle, which I was a little bit lenient on the location. And I'm glad I was, because we eventually found something that I really, really loved. So we put in an offer, I believe, just like day after I saw it. I looked on Zillow or Redfin. I was like, Alan, what do you think about this? And you gave me some of your thoughts. Took an opportunity to check out the open house the next day. You were busy. I think you were being your fit self. You were running a marathon, I think.
Oh, yeah, something like that. I was writing something.
Yeah. So I went, I took pictures and videos of all the things that you told me to take a closer look at.
Yeah.
I sent you all my notes, my thoughts. I said, this is a location that I think I would really like. What do you think? You looked at it, I think, the next day.
Yeah, I just snuck out there, took a look at it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confirmed everything. We put in an offer. It got accepted, I think, 2 days, a day after.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good deal for me. I think it appraised higher than what we eventually closed on. And so I'm happy all around.
Actually, want to go back to that first deal because it really helped us get the second deal.
Sure.
Unplanned, but I'm happy that it worked out that way. But the first deal, yeah, we got the accepted offer.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, they thought that the solar panels were already paid off, but they're not.
Yep.
It was an $80K loan for the solar panels and the roof. And the seller thought that, the new buyer would just assume that loan.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
You're essentially paying for the roof and solar panels twice.
Right.
When you sell your house, we're not going to take over your mortgage.
Right.
So why would you think it's okay that we're going to take over your existing loan? So we backed out of that deal, and DR Law, got all your funds back. So we protected you in that. When we went to get the second offer accepted, part of the offer that I presented, I told them that you've already been through this process.
Correct.
Had an accepted offer. It wasn't your fault that we were, breaking out of that deal. Mm-hmm. But we have a lender already in place. We have an attorney already in place. That was the selling point, because we had 7 offers, I believe.
We weren't the highest.
We weren't the highest. We were the third highest in price, but the package was the most important thing to them. There was a best and final round. I remember you were okay going like 20K more and waiving your inspection.
Correct.
I went back to them and was able to negotiate a deal where we only came up 10K, and we kept the inspection, but with a 10K buffer. Mm-hmm. That we weren't going to negotiate anything if it was below 10K. Mm-hmm. So still got the inspection, and we did the inspection. There was only really that one window trim with the termite damage, which obviously less than 10K to fix. I was happy that you were able to get your inspection, and I appreciate you kind of telling me what you're willing to do and just letting me kind of do my job. I'm glad that I didn't take the full 20K and we were able to get it for just 10K more.
Yeah, I think that was a big component of it too, just the trust. We're busy people, and the thing that I definitely did not want to do was just, send back and forth emails just to get details and clarification. You were very helpful in just being like, hey, just give me a ring. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Let's just go through all the scenarios really, really quick, and just let me know what is it that you want to do. And I gave you all the details, and I just let you do your job. And you gave me a ring, a couple hours later, and the expectation was like, Alan, is it good news or bad news? And that was it.
Let's talk about all the other components through this deal. So, got your inspection. How was Chris over at Hawkeye?
It was great. He showed up really, really early. I showed up, I think, 20 minutes early, and he was already there for quite a while.
And you did the whole outside.
Yeah, he already did the outside already. You guys already discussed some things. He was great. He let me kind of shadow him because it was my first time. I did not know too much about houses, so I wanted to learn as well. And he was very, very patient with just taking the time to explain what he was doing. He didn't make me feel like I was being a pest at all, because I was just soaking in all the information. He's being very, very thorough. And then at the very end, I got the full report. I downloaded the entire report. I looked it over again. I printed it out. So that whole thing was super helpful.
How was DR Law in this whole process? The 2 deals and the closing.
I don't love all the legal stuff. DR Law was there so that I can trust and just let them handle everything. Surprisingly, in my line of work, I do review a lot of legal documentation. So therefore, I did have some sort of, comfort zone, but I definitely let the professionals handle it. That was never my worry at all.
And then instrumental in getting your offer accepted is like the full package, right? So the lender is very important. So when we submit offers, we're definitely highlighting that. So how was Matt Tran over at Total Mortgage, this process?
And that was great. From the very beginning, the first call that I reached out to you. So I called you when we first got together was on a Saturday morning, I think. And then you said you were going to talk to Matt. Matt gave me a call within like half an hour. He was like driving to somewhere else, maybe, on his weekend trip or something. We had a great discussion just to figure out all the steps that would lead me to a successful close. And so having all that information allowed me to kind of go back and digest and to gather all the things that I needed on my end. From the very beginning, I was already prepping my, financial documents, getting all my stuff in order. When it was time to go to underwriting, there was no surprises, at least on my end. Those are the things that I can control. So therefore, I wanted to take care of it ahead of time.
Exactly. And that's how we prefer it done. So if you don't have any surprises later on, everything can be smooth and we know ahead of time what to expect. And then very lastly, why would you recommend me?
We have mutual friends that you've done successful deals on. I trust those friends really, really well. And so their word meant a lot to me. And therefore, for my first time, I needed someone that I could trust. And you were super, super thorough. You gave me the information that was essential for me to understand what it is that I needed to do to close. I went down deep rabbit holes of like all things houses. I remember there were some properties that we first looked at where you mentioned a French drain, and I'm like, I never heard of French drain. So I went home and like I did YouTube 4 hours French drain, or like what was like a loading beam, or like things like that, or like remodeling a bathroom, or like relocating a range. Like I didn't know that was possible, but then I went and I looked at it. So you helped me sift through all the data, all the information to just kind of, tunnel vision me towards a successful, close that was important to me. Your insights and, your knowledge, your experience and all this was, super, super helpful for me.
Well, I have your keys here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.